I make $150,000 a year as a single income earner. I live paycheck to paycheck. I have no retirement. I have no savings. And it sucks. And I work 24/7. Farm Girl Nerd here has a great quote though. She says, "You must gain control over your money or the lack of it will forever control you." And I am living proof of this statement. I'm in massive debt. And it was not overnight. It happened over an 11-year span. When I tell you that I live paycheck to paycheck, it is not an exaggeration. This is why budgeting is so important. I was in an abusive relationship for many years and I was controlled. Budgeting feels very controlling to me, when in reality, all it is telling you where to put your dollars. It's interesting because as I'm going through this journey of getting out of debt, the more and more I realize that I am human and I have made mistakes, but I am taking control of those actions. And one day I will control my money. Right now I don't. Every single penny goes to minimum payments and it sucks. And that doesn't even include rent and mortgage. I have the day off work today and I'm outside hustling to pay for life. Budget, people, and actually apply the budget.
Credit cards, stupid. Stupid. Student loans, stupid. Car payments, stupid on steroids. Borrowing money on your house to put granite countertops in. Somebody ought to smack you. That's stupid. It's stupid. You have to stop and think again. Here's the deal. Your number one wealth building tool is your income. All of the millionaires that we interview, unless they inherited the money, which is very, very few of them, less than 10% of them inherited the money, did it by saving and investing their income. They did not give their income to Best Buy. When you give your income to someone else, you don't have it anymore. And when you give your income away, you have given up your economic future. All for crap. 70% of the Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That's stupid because you're living in one of the wealthiest countries the world has ever known, and there you sit like a rat in a wheel. Run, 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 run. Why? Because student loans are an investment and I'm going to Best Buy. This is just stupid. It's stupid on steroids. Really, seriously, you've got to stop and think instead of sitting around eating Skittles and watching Oprah reruns. This is stupid. We're fat and we're broke because we have no ability to do critical thought and we don't stop and look at what we're putting into our lives. This is nuts. It's nuts. It's completely out of control. The number of people I've talked to just today with $25,000 and $30,000 owed on their stupid car. It's a car. Good God. It's a car. What does it do? It takes you from here to there. Now, I don't mind you having a $25,000 car. All of my cars cost more than $25,000, but I freaking paid for them, and they're a very small percentage of my life, a very small percentage of my income. Think. Seriously. So,
stop thinking you can be successful here in America as an immigrant. 5 years ago, I moved out from a third world country called the Philippines. I didn't come from a rich family because I have to take the bus, the train, the jeep, and the tricycles. And if you have been to the Philippines, you know how bad transportation is. That is one of my motivation to move to the US for the greener pasture. But wait. When I arrived here, I have witnessed people here living paycheck to paycheck, drowning in debts, unable to pay their bills, and that shocked me as an immigrant. I have the expectation that people knew better here. But one thing is for sure, I didn't want to live that kind of life. I am here to take advantage of all the resources and opportunities that are available. And that's why in 5 years, I was able to leave my 9-to-5 job, purchase my house, pay off my car, and start multiple businesses here because I don't want to be broke. I don't like the idea of waiting till 65 to be able to enjoy your life. I realized that it's not your past history, your diploma that will make you successful, but the daily action you take to get there. My story is not to brag, but to inspire you that if a single mom was able to do this, the more you can do this as well. Having known the skills to make money online has completely changed my life, and I want you to experience the same. If you are ready to level up your life here in the US, give me a follow and get to learn my strategies on how I was able to achieve my true American dream on top of my page. See you on my next video.
It is impossible to save right now. This is coming from somebody who's a really good saver. The fact that I have done less this year and yet I still have nothing to save is wild to me. I don't go out to eat, I don't get drinks. This is the least I've ever traveled. Shopping sprees are very far and few between. Also, I'm spending less money on rent, and yet every single one of my paychecks is going towards some sort of bill, an adult related thing I don't want to pay for, like insurance, my car repair, maintenance on my HVAC. I mean, I feel like the list is endless. Long story short, everything costs too much. There's so many hidden fees, so unless you ask for an itemized report of what exactly you've been charged for, you're probably paying more than you're actually supposed to. Companies want to pay you less, the cost of living is rising. As an example, the way that I used to make $3,000 a month when I graduated college, and yet I was still able to save about $1,000 a month, I can't do that anymore. Ways that I could stretch $100 when I was in college does not go far now. Honestly, if you can, move home with your parents. Pick up a side job. It's only gonna get worse before it gets better. What really enrages me is when the economy is up, the prices go up, and then they never come down. And even when the economy is not doing good, those prices never come down. And guess who suffers? All of us. If anyone has a good side hustle that doesn't take money to start, let me know, because I think we are all struggling and it would be really helpful. Bye.
Oh, CEOs take all the risks, so they deserve all the profit. What risk? The risk of becoming a regular worker like everyone else? Understand, 67% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. If they lose their job, they risk being fucking homeless. If a CEO loses their job, they risk becoming a worker like everyone else. And then you have to ask yourself, why are they so terrified of becoming a worker? Because they know how poorly they treat their workers. They know how useless they are. Garbage men, janitors, retail workers, construction workers, nurses, teachers, all of these workers are infinitely more valuable than billionaire CEOs. If these workers vanished for a day, everyone would notice. Who the fuck would notice if a CEO billionaire vanished? Absolutely no one. They do not deserve to be paid 130 times more than their employee.
I think 67% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck is disgusting. I think the fact that it went up from 60% of Americans to 67% of Americans within 1 year of the Trump presidency is scary. It's dangerous. The fact that most Americans are feeling poor is not an acceptable situation. You know, and to hear the President of the United States say that unaffordability is a lie, that affordability is a scam, well, that's not true, because every single person who's coming to this event, most people are feeling the pinch of unaffordability in the United States of America. And it is a problem, and it's not a left or a right problem. It's an up versus down problem, and we need to band together as people and be on the side of others. We need to be on the side of each other, because trusting billionaires doesn't work out well for anyone. I don't care if it's 1880 or if it's 2025. There are no billionaires who are doing right by regular people, and we need to understand that. I don't care if we don't agree on abortion or if we don't agree on everything, but we can agree on the fact that life should not feel like a struggle. Normalizing struggle in the United States of America is the antithesis of the American dream. And because I am 40 years old, because I am as old as I am, I know that life didn't feel this way 20 years.
60% of our people live in paycheck to paycheck, and one guy, Elon Musk, owns more wealth than the bottom 53% of American households. Think maybe that might be an issue that we should be talking about? But, Mr. President, one of the reasons we don't talk about that issue and many other vital issues that impact working families is the reality that Congress today is much more concerned about protecting the needs of its campaign contributors, the billionaires who are putting an unprecedented amount of money into the political process, rather than representing the needs of working families throughout America.
I was on TikTok, my For You page, a woman popped up and she was like, me and my husband make $150,000 a year. A lot, right? Well, to me, that's a lot. And she's like, we live paycheck to paycheck. And I'm like, wait, in my head, I'm like, we live paycheck to paycheck. You make $150,000, how are you living paycheck to paycheck? And she was just saying, like, even if you make more, you still live paycheck to paycheck. And now I'm in my brain like, so we're trying to grind to make all this money, but we're still gonna live paycheck to paycheck? Like, that's what she's making me think. And I don't want to believe that's true, but is that technically true? She's like, I have a house, I have 2 cars, I do this and this with my kids. but we still live paycheck to paycheck. And I'm like, is there even a point of trying to grind? Like, is there a point where you're just like catching the money, but you still live paycheck to paycheck? Like, it's like a circle. It would be never ending. And I'm just like, for people that actually make 150,000, do you live paycheck to paycheck? Is that true? Because I don't want to believe it's true.
A recent study came out that 47% of Americans who make $150,000 a year to $200,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. Now, some of you are thinking, how in the crap does that happen? If I was making $200,000, I would be fine. And it just proves the point, you guys, that so much of personal finance, it's your behavior, it's your habits. I mean, lifestyle creep, it's a real thing. When you're used to living at 100 grand and then you make 120, you get used to that, and then you get used to 140, and it keeps going up. Regardless of how much money you make, your habits really do form around your income. And so that's why you have to be so careful. So don't always have hope that just because my income goes up, I'm going to be okay. Because the truth is, if you have bad habits and you make more money, you're just going to make bigger and bigger mistakes. But if you have great money habits and you make more income, then that's a blessing because it's going to be used to your advantage.
Have you ever looked at your paycheck and wonder where all the money went? That's a question many Americans are asking today. The cost of living keeps going up. Rent is higher, groceries cost more, gas is more expensive, and many families are paying more for healthcare and insurance. Even simple everyday things don't seem as affordable as they used to be. For many people, the paycheck is gone almost as soon as it arrives. After paying the bills, there is little or nothing left to save. Some families are cutting back to eating out, canceling subscription, delaying vacation, or taking on extra job just to keep up. The hardest part is that many of these people are already working full-time. They are not spending carelessly. They are simply trying to keep up with rising costs. This doesn't affect everyone in the same way, but many households across America say they are feeling the pressure as prices continue to rise. One question is on many people's mind: how much more expensive can everyday life become before even more family begin to struggle? Thank you.